Hi there, it's Ina here and welcome to my art room. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and please click the bell icon so you will receive notifications of all my regular uploads. So today I want to do an impromptu idea I got when I was cleaning up after our renovation project. I found one of our paintbrushes completely hardened. I also had a leftover piece from our floorboards. So I want to put these together, decorate them and make a wall hanging. Now for starters, I will be sanding the edges just a little bit here on the wood board. I will also cover the brush with white gesso and then I will be right back. So my brush is covered but still wet, and next I want to alter this piece of wood just a little bit. So I use my crackle glaze. I add a very good amount to it, give it plenty of time to dry, and it works with mixed results because of course this surface is not meant to take this type of medium, but sometimes you just have to experiment and see what will work. So I let this dry, and in the meantime I collected and picked a few things from my box of findings, including these cardboard gears, some broken jewelry, some game pieces, little bits and pieces from my handyman department, and you name it. And I try to layer them in the way that they complement each other's shape and size and texture, and yeah, make it look interesting. I use E6000 to glue everything down, and after that's a little bit dry, I cover everything in gesso one more time, and then I will use my metallic acrylic paints and some of my glimmer mist for the shading. Now all my glimmer mist spray bottles are clogged up and I haven't taken the time to clean them, so I will apply it just using a paintbrush, and that works rather well. Now, of course, by adding these gears, I purposely give this project some steampunkish theme, but I also will add some different design of flowers, a butterfly, a heart, so that softens it up a bit. So I let you listen to a little bit of music here, as again, the process is going to be easy to follow, and I will chat with you whenever needed and latest towards the end of the video. So please enjoy. So when I'm finally finished fiddling with all the little beads, I added a spiral paper brad as an afterthought here, and then I removed the 2 tiny flower beads because I'm thinking to return them to the brush after it's all painted. Next, everything needs a good coat of gesso. First I use a rather big brush, and then I will go on with a tiny brush so I can get into all the little corners. I have to add 2 and sometimes 3 coats to cover all these colorful pieces. And here you can see it's done, it's dry, and I also removed the light bulb and will return it later on. So now back to my background. As you can see, it's dry, but it looks rather milky, and also it is flaking off. So to preserve at least some of the crackles, I am adding some Mod Podge in matte, and I'm hoping that will help. So while that is drying, I work on a tiny little tag. This is made from coffee dyed paper. I added a little eyelet and now some distress ink through my stencil, just for a little extra interest, and this little tag will be added to my project later on. A quick close-up and onto my background again. Now I want to color it a little bit and also bring out the crackles more, so I alternate between black acrylic paint and my rusty paste. And it's not easy to make it stick because of course floorboards are meant to reject paint and dirt and you name it. So it takes quite a while. I have to let it dry and I work on it a little more. So I edited a lot of it out, but at the end it looks pretty good. Now to finish up the painting part, I use a dry brush and very little of my copper metallic paint, and I go lightly over the surface of all these little bits and pieces, and that brings out the texture and the design. It gives it some extra interest and shine. So as soon as I'm happy with the painting part, I go ahead and reattach the little light bulb. Now on the little bulb, I changed the silver part to copper just by adding some paint earlier on. Next, I also add the flowers to the brush again, and now some metal gears. I really like the look I get when I add some unpainted pieces at the very end to my assemblage work. Next, I will be putting together a little dangle using my tag, some chain, and a few other things. And you will see it in detail in just a moment. But first, I want to attach my brush to my background, again using E6000. Here is my little project all done, and of course I want you to take a closer look, especially here at the dangle. I added the year 2018 to it. I added a key, a tiny glass bottle I filled with some beads, a tiny little charm. It has some engraved flowers on it, and for me to hang this up easily and flush with the wall, I added one of those picture frame hooks. I got a kick out of using an actual brush I used to beautify our home and a piece from our flooring. And of course, I always enjoy the details on these assemblage pieces, and I hope you do too. I like the symbolism of the little house and the heart, and even the background, the little crackle I was able to preserve, and the coloring gave it that special little interest it needed. So I'm happy with the outcome. I hope you enjoyed the time you spent with me, and maybe it gave you some new ideas. So thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you really soon again, and bye bye for now.